The story of Star Wars is generally a tale of good versus evil, filled with characters that solidify their stance in the matter through the actions they take on their respective journeys. It's through these actions that these characters transform from just everyday people into legends. This begs the question, which character is the best? Many may give one or various answers. I believe there are quite a few. So my goal in this series is to intensely analyze the characters I believe fit this mold, and to make a case for them as the greatest Star Wars character of all time. The character I want to look at today is Princess Leia Organa. Leia is undoubtedly one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars, with a personality that's just as memorable. In this video, I want to go over how Leia's ideals and overall characterization molds the themes of the original trilogy and Star Wars as a whole. Episode 4 wastes no time to make the audience familiar with Leia, as she's the first character to ever be mentioned by name in the opening crawl. This immediately tells us that she's someone of importance and a protagonist that we can root for, as Leia is presented as the symbolic representation of the rebels that fight against the evil Galactic Empire. The near impossible task of taking on the Empire is visually conveyed to us in the first scene of the film, as the rebel spaceship, the Tainted Four, is dominated in size by the Imperial Star Destroyer that engulfs the majority of the screen. This sets the stage for Leia to attempt to overcome these insurmountable odds.
There'll be no escape for the princess this time.
While it is true that Leia does not escape, she shows that she's a leader that'll never give up, sending R2 on a secret mission with the Death Star plans and a message to Obi-Wan for help. This action highlights the level of confidence that she has in others, and their ability to achieve great things, as she entrusts the fate of the rebellion in the hands of one of the most unassuming characters in R2, meanwhile casting aside her pride and asking for aid in a difficult time. After successfully storing the plans in R2, Leia displays her ability to fight on when cornered by stormtroopers, and even when she's captured, her fearless nature is put to the test when she is confronted by Darth Vader. Even with her familiarity of what Vader is capable of, when questioned about the plans, she stands firmly in her lie in order to protect the rebellion and all that they fight for.
I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away!
Although Leia is imprisoned and forced to patiently wait while the Empire plans their next course of action, her own actions are proving to have a great impact on the story, as R2 and 3PO find themselves on an adventure of their own to find Obi-Wan. When they do, the message that Leia delivers is clear and simple.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
The iconic line begins a domino effect that not only brings Obi-Wan into the fray, but in turn Luke as well. Soon after, the unlikely heroes like Han and Chewie are thrown into the mix. This emphasizes the idea that one of Leia's greatest attributes is her ability to unite people for a common cause. This, along with her undying strength, are what make her such a great threat to the Empire.
And now, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of your hidden rebel base.
Even when she's subjected to an intense interrogation with Vader, Leia proves to be much tougher than expected.
Her resistance to the mind probe is considerable. It will be some time before we can extract any information from her.
Here we see that as long as there is a glimmer of hope for the rebellion to succeed, she can't be broken. To challenge this idea comes a character that represents the Empire in Grand Moff Tarkin. Tarkin is the clear antithesis to Leia, as the two characters symbolize both sides of the Galactic Civil War, with Tarkin using power and fear to rule over others.
Fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle station.
And Leia using hope and inspiration to fight oppression.
This is our most desperate hour. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Even the color of their clothing suits their opposing personalities. White is typically representative of the heroes, whereas black the villains, with both sides personally invested in their cause. In the case of Tarkin, he wears gray, which leaves him somewhere in the middle. This is important as his actions are generally done with a lack of emotion, neither leaning on pure good or evil, which is why he can do cruel things with very little remorse, all in the name of the Empire.
I think it is time we demonstrated the full power of this station. Set your course for Alderaan.
For Leia, this goes against all that she believes in, as she makes most decisions off of emotion, as she's truly passionate about her cause. So when the characters interact with each other, it only makes sense that they have an underlying animosity towards one another, with Leia throwing the first punch, even mocking his accent.
Governor Tarkin, I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash. I recognized your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Charming to the last.
Through their exchange of dialogue, we see their opposing philosophies clash with one another.
No star system will dare oppose the Emperor now.
The more you tighten your grip, Tarkin, the more star systems will slip through your fingers.
Not after we demonstrate the power of this station.
Leia stands by the idea that the Empire's strength and power and fear is also its major flaw, as she's already put this into practice by being a major leader in the rebellion itself and gathering more members that oppose the Empire, such as Obi-Wan. However, Tarkin takes back complete control of this exchange by utilizing the very fear that he spoke of.
I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of Alderaan.
No. Alderaan is peace, but we have no weapons. You can't
You will
possibly...
prefer another target, a military target? Then name the system.
Although Leia gives Tarkin a planet, it's too little too late, as Tarkin decides to continue with the destruction of Alderaan.
You may fire when ready.
This being a defining moment for Leia, unable to help the people of her homeworld and forced to watch, living a true nightmare and left feeling all the more alone in the galaxy. The fact that she makes it past this catastrophic event with a clear mind is a testament to her incredible resilience. Even having lost almost everything and being sentenced to death, when given the opportunity to escape the Death Star when Luke arrives, Leia takes full advantage of it, quickly showing her worth to the team and eliminating the notion that she may be a damsel in distress by devising a plan of escape when cornered in the detention center hallway, all the while showing off her top-tier sass to her new teammates.
A little short for a stormtrooper.
Looks like you managed to cut off her only escape route.
Maybe you'd like it back in your cell, Your Highness.
This is some rescue. When you came in here, didn't you have a plan for getting out?
Eat the brains, sweetheart! What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins. Into the garbage, you flyboy!
Her strong personality can definitely rub others the wrong way. Mostly Han, but it comes from a good place, as most of her remarks in the scene are from the perspective of a leader holding their followers accountable. Leia's ability to never shy away from the moment is what attracts others towards her.
Wonderful girl! Either I'm gonna kill her or I'm beginning to like her!
Of course, even after Leia's commands buy the team enough time to survive the trash compactor, Han is still reluctant to fully accepting Leia just yet.
Just avoid any more female advice. We ought to be able to get out of here.
Well, let's get moving.
Han's ego, along with Leia's stubborn need to be in charge, causes a rift between the two, as both characters find it difficult to work with one another, which leads to some great dialogue.
Look, your worshipfulness, let's get one thing straight. I take orders from just one person, me.
So one day you're still alive. Will somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way?
You came nothing? You're braver than I thought.
Nice, come on.
While Han and Leia get off to a bit of a rough start, Luke and Leia are on the same page, both prioritizing to do what they feel is right. It's with Luke that we see more of the positives in Leia's natural ability to lead, as together they work to escape from the stormtroopers on the Death Star. When crossing the bridge, or lack thereof one, they work together, with Leia providing cover fire while Luke executes on his plan, even providing a bit of encouragement right before crossing. And once they've escaped the Death Star, Leia's the first to console Luke after the loss of Ben,
There wasn't anything you could have done.
as she, more than anyone, understands what it's like to lose a loved one and feel helpless and alone. So she's there for Luke so the same doesn't happen to him. After escaping the TIE fighters, Leia remains focused on the task at hand.
It's not over yet.
Meanwhile, highlighting the core differences between Han and Leia's selfish and selfless natures respectively.
I ain't in this for your revolution, man. I'm not in it for you, Princess. I expect to be well paid. I'm in it for the money.
You needn't worry about your reward. If money is all that you love, then that's what you'll receive.
While this does aggravate Leia,
I wonder if he really cares about anything. Or anybody.
she still wisely gives him space to make his own decisions.
He's got to follow his own path. No one can choose it for him.
In the Battle of Yavin, Leia does what she can with the cards given to her, never losing sight of her goal.
You're safe. When we heard about Alderaan, we feared the worst.
We have no time for Asara's commander.
While Leia is limited in her ability to play an active role in the battle itself, their success is all only possible because of her, having the trust in R2 to deliver the plans and gathering key players for the rebellion in Luke and Han, which begins to shift the tide in the war. So she anxiously waits in the command center, still hopeful for their victory, meanwhile never underestimating her opponent, whereas Tarkin displays his hubris in the final moments of the battle.
Evacuate? In our moment of triumph? I think you overestimate their chances.
It's because of this and Leia's undying ability to see the good in others and have faith that they'll succeed, the rebellion proves to be successful that day.
Well, I was gonna let you get all the credit and take all the reward.
Hey, I knew that was more to you than money.
So as A New Hope comes to a close, the award ceremony proves that Leia believes no good deed goes unnoticed. But more importantly, the medals themselves represent her giving Han and Luke the opportunity to become a part of her family and community. As united, they're unbeatable. The start of episode 5 has Leia in a familiar place, commanding the rebellion once more, only this time she not only has to deal with the struggles of the day-to-day stresses of the war, but of her growing feelings for Han as well. With one glance, the audience is shown that there's a tension between the two, and they're forced to confront it as Han declares that he has to leave to pay his debt.
Well, Your Highness, guess this is it.
That's right.
Don't get all mushy on me. So long, Princess.
Leia struggles with showing certain emotions at times where Han typically wears his heart on his sleeve. This is due to the fact that she's typically in a position of leadership, so she fears that others may view her as weak by showing these types of emotions, or worse, that she may grow attached and lose those that she cares about once more, which is exemplified in how she treats Han at times.
Han, we need you.
We need?
Yes,
Or what about you need?
I need. I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably don't.
She chooses to hide her feelings rather than express them, similar to the rebellion hiding from the Empire, all in an effort to protect the lives of others.
Come on. You want me to stay because of the way you feel about me?
Yes, you're a great help to us. You're a natural leader.
No, that's not it.
Where Leia tries to deny her feelings, Han embraces them head-on in an effort to convince her that her feelings aren't a sign of weakness, but of strength, encouraging her to open up and be comfortable with showing a vulnerability.
Come on.
You're imagining things.
Am I? Then why are you following me? Afraid I was gonna leave without giving you a goodbye kiss?
I just assumed it's a Wookiee.
I can arrange that.
You could use a good kiss.
Leia's struggles as a leader are further explored with the decisions she's forced to make. When she gives the order to close the shield doors, she's conflicted, as on one hand she feels like she's abandoning her friends in the storm, but on the other, she has a responsibility to protect those that are inside the base.
R2 says the chances of survival are 725 to 1. Actually, R2 has been known to make mistakes. From time to time.
Although Han and Luke have beaten the odds before, Leia can't help but wonder if she's made a mistake of her own. Soon after, Han manages to rescue Luke, and the trio are together for the first and last time in the film. It's a moment of levity during a dark time, and in a sense, a reminder of what Leia and the Rebellion are fighting for. Han of course continues to pester Leia about her feelings for him, and Leia's quick with a response as always.
That's a good story. I think you just can't bear to let a gorgeous guy like me out of your sight.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Han then goes as far to say,
But you didn't see us alone in the South Passage. She expressed her true feelings for me.
What? Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Who's scruffy looking?
The importance here is in Han's statement afterwards, as he says,
You must have hit pretty close to the mark to get her all riled up like that, huh, kid?
This sums up perfectly why Leia is constantly annoyed with Han, as he's right about the way that she feels, and he understands her more than anyone else. She of course hates the idea that someone has her figured out, as she puts so much effort to not let her personal feelings affect her judgment. At this point, she chooses to deny her feelings once again, only this time in a way that would quickly silence Han.
Well, I guess you don't know everything about women yet.
Well, this is going to be awkward in the next movie. While the Battle of Hoth is a losing effort, Leia never shows it. She's cool and collected before and during the chaos, from briefing the rebel pilots on their brave mission, to taking calculated risks as the command center is falling apart. Unfortunately though, as the Empire nears victory, Leia's dedication blinds her to evacuating herself. As the saying goes, the captain must go down with their ship. Although, Han urges her to retreat instead, knowing Leia can get caught up in the moment and selflessly only think of others, meanwhile forgetting to take care of herself for a change. Ironic, as Han was once flawed with being too self-interested, where Leia now must learn to embrace it at times. As Han and Leia escape Hoth, the team is officially split up, with Luke and Dagobah and the others on the constant run from the Empire. Under these circumstances, as the pilot, Han is in a position of leadership and Leia, for the first time, must learn to follow. A task that's difficult enough as it is for Leia, as she doesn't always trust Han's judgment.
Someday you're gonna be wrong and I just don't want you to see it.
The situation is amplified as the team enters the asteroid field, with Leia almost feeling responsible for Han's arrogant behavior.
You didn't have to do this to impress me.
In any case, like the rest of the team, she's along for the ride whether she wants to or not, even if she technically did ask for it.
Said you want to be around, I made a mistake. This could be it, sweetheart.
I take it back.
Slowly she comes to realize that, in the same way that she's taken risks as a leader, Han must now take one to shake off the Empire and get them to safety.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Yeah, me too.
Once the team has a few moments to settle down and repair the Falcon inside the cave of an asteroid, Han and Leia are given the opportunity to address their feelings head-on. From the start of their interaction, we see Leia shrug off Han, a bad habit of not accepting help, and creating a metaphorical shell around herself. But through one simple request, Han is able to break through and have a sincere conversation with her.
Hey, your worship, I'm only trying to help.
Would you please stop calling me that?
Sure, Leia.
On the surface, it may not seem like much, but calling her by her name shows that although
You make it so difficult sometimes.
I do, I really do.
he genuinely cares about her, even with her flaws. With the exchange of lines,
My hands are dirty.
My hands are dirty too. What are you afraid of?
highlighting their perspectives on themselves, with Leia hesitant to open up and be more vulnerable and potentially show weakness, whereas Han is comfortable with his imperfections and embraces them, so they never control his actions. Han here proves that even though he fits Leia's description of a scoundrel, he still is a decent man with her best interest at heart, all culminating to the kiss that they share. Now that Leia has begun to take her first steps in opening up to Han, she's less stubborn in her actions and more willing to follow Han's lead, prioritizing the idea of teamwork despite the risks.
What about there?
Are you crazy?
I just got this bucket back together. I'm not gonna let something tear it apart.
Oh, then I'm going with you.
Although this doesn't mean she'll blindly follow Han without question.
Let's get out of here!
Empire is still out there. I don't think it's
It's
wise
time to
to...
discuss this to committee.
I am not a committee.
Leia's support and trust in Han can be seen in her treatment of 3PO, the most logical thinker of the group, therefore the first character to question Han's actions.
You're going to attack them?
Sir, the odds of surviving a direct assault on an Imperial Star Destroyer...
Shut up!
I really don't see how that is going to help. Surrender is a perfectly acceptable alternative in extreme circumstances. The Empire may be gracious enough.
And after Han successfully manages to escape the Empire, Leia reinforces his behavior and takes his advice from earlier.
You could be a little nicer, though. Come on, admit it. Sometimes you think I'm all right.
You have your moments. Not many of them, but you do have them.
Leia's newfound trust in Han is put to the test as now they place their fate in the hands of Lando.
Who's worried?
Leia's concern with Lando is a reminder that she's a good judge of character, and her intuition is typically right.
I don't trust Lando.
Well, I don't trust him either. He is my friend.
Leia goes along with it because of her trust in Han, and although Lando betrays the team as she feared, she faces the consequences head-on, with Han at her side. And when in prison, she never blames Han as she might have in the past. Now she simply shows a softer, more nurturing and sympathetic side, compared to her typically strong and fierce personality.
Why are they doing this?
And when Han sticks it to Lando, Leia can't help but be proud of the man he's become.
You certainly have a way with people.
Which brings us to the carbon freezing chamber, a scene that exemplifies how far these characters have come since A New Hope. For Han, he's now more selfless and willing to sacrifice his own life for another's, all due to the fact that Leia has taught him to live a life with purpose through her inspiring fight against the Empire and along with her compassionate and resilient nature.
The princess, you have to take care of her.
And these words give Leia enough reason to believe that her feelings for Han are true, which leads to the infamous exchange of,
I love you.
I know.
Leia confessing her love is important to her development as a character as she learned from Han to wear her heart on her sleeve and be unafraid to express her feelings, making her all the more stronger. And strength is what she needs, as she's forced to witness her love be frozen. A man full of life, now motionless. And even when Lando gives her a second chance to save Han from Boba Fett, Leia can only help but feel powerless, as it's again too little too late. And although Leia initially wants nothing to do with Lando,
I don't need any of your help.
he proves his worth by leading the team to the Millennium Falcon and protects her from herself during their escape. This is important as it shows the benefits that can come from choosing forgiveness over vengeance. As the team is about to leave Cloud City, Luke calls out to Leia for help, foreshadowing the unknown connection the two share, and fully reversing the roles as in A New Hope, Luke saved her, and now in The Empire Strikes Back, Leia returns the favor, with both having their worlds flipped upside down, with the loss of Han and Luke's discovery of the truth. Even with this dilemma, Leia's still the one with a clear mind and takes care of Luke, at his side until the end. In the final shots of the film, the team is dealing with the consequences of being apart from each other, as they failed on many levels. But as they look out into the galaxy, there's a feeling of hope as Leia has maintained the family she's chosen, and they continue to fight on for what they believe in. Episode 6 shows how far Leia has come since her introduction, starting with the team's mission to rescue Han. Leia's part in the mission is to disguise herself as a bounty hunter, or as she might describe, a scoundrel. Leia embraces this role reversal with Han so much that she makes Jabba a deal she can't refuse.
The mighty Jabba asks why he must pay 50,000. Because he's holding a thermal detonator.
Leia even gains Boba's respect with a simple nod and Jabba's through his description of her as fearless and inventive, words that describe Leia whether she's a bounty hunter or not. Even before it's officially revealed to the audience that this masked bounty hunter is Leia, we're given a clue through her prisoner in Chewie. A throwback to A New Hope as Han was the only one Chewie trusted to cuff him, and now he shares the similar trust in Leia. But for Leia, what brings things full circle is how her motivation to save Han juxtaposes his to save her in the first film. In A New Hope, Han rescues Leia out of greed, whereas in The Return of the Jedi, Leia saves him out of love.
Who are you?
Someone who loves you.
Leia.
Showing the value and compassion and undying protection that comes with it. Although Leia is able to free Han from the carbon freezing, she's unfortunately caught by Jabba and taken in as a prisoner herself. Unlike the rest of the team, she's chained at Jabba's side and forced to wear an outfit aimed at demeaning her worth, even if she does look pretty good in it. But that's not the point. The point is that she's living a nightmare, with her chain symbolizing the very fear she has in what could become of the people of the galaxy if the Empire were to win the Galactic Civil War. So once again, she's put in a position where she's seemingly helpless, as Luke and Han are to be executed at the Sarlacc pit. This feeling of being powerless would be the same as when Alderaan was destroyed and Han was frozen, but the difference here is that she has the whole team to help her out, and through the chaos that ensues, caused by Luke and the others, she takes advantage of the situation and uses her chains to defeat Jabba, showing the importance in teamwork and proving Luke's words to be true.
This is the last mistake you'll ever make. Free us or die.
Also to note, Jabba can be considered the representation of greed, a major flaw that Han had until he met Leia, so it's fitting that she, one of the most selfless characters, kills the very symbol of it here. And so Luke and Leia work together to escape Jabba's barge, with the film giving a nice little nod to their escape on the Death Star. The early part of the team's mission on Endor, from the preparation phase to their encounter with the Ewoks, highlights Leia's well-roundedness and overall development as a character. Whereas in previous installments she was hesitant to follow orders from others, now she's eager to follow Han into battle.
General, count me in.
When Han expresses fear of losing something dear to him, rather than poke fun at him with a sassy remark, she gives him a gentle nudge of encouragement to lead the team.
Yeah, I just got a funny feeling, like I'm not gonna see her again.
Come on, General. Let's move.
Right. Chewie, let's see what this piece of junk can do.
The ability to know what to say comes from experience, as she's been there before herself and sees Han in a similar position, a reminder of the concept that Yoda spoke of earlier in the film. Once on the Forest Moon, Leia is quick as always to take action alongside Luke and pursue the scout troopers before they escape. While they are successful in their pursuit, Luke and Leia are split up. It's here that Leia exemplifies her natural ability to communicate and befriend others. While Wicket and Leia don't speak the same language, she manages to convince the Ewok that she's friendly, as he goes from assuming she's a threat to helping her when confronted by troopers. Her ability to unite people for a common cause is a trait she shares with her mother and can be seen here. All of this juxtaposed by Han's more hostile approach, as when he meets the Ewoks, they get off on the wrong foot and almost get turned into supper. After the team sorts out the misunderstanding and is reunited at the Ewok village, Leia and Han share a peaceful moment together, where they listen to 3PO tell stories of their adventures. This image of them together is a reminder of what they're fighting for, a life of freedom, where they can settle down and live with those that they care most about, and most importantly, how close they are to achieving it. Soon after, Luke opens up to Leia before he leaves to confront Vader. This scene is important not only for the plot, but it reminds us of Leia's importance as the emotional support that binds the team together. Luke is clearly troubled by the truths that he knows and confides in Leia, as she's always been there for him at his lowest points. Before he sets towards to accomplish this near impossible task, he seeks closure with the mother he never knew, and Leia provides him a glimpse of it.
Do you remember your mother? Your real mother?
She was very beautiful, kind, but sad.
Within a matter of minutes, Luke reveals not only that Vader is his father and Leia his sister, but that she's Force sensitive as well.
My father has it. I have it. And my sister has it.
Somehow, I've always known.
Even with all this life-changing information, Leia is accepting of it and embraces the truth where most would deny it. Throughout their conversation, Luke shows how much respect he has for his sister, believing in her more than he believes in himself.
If I don't make it back, you're the only hope for the Alliance.
Even pointing to her courage and bravery.
I wish I could go with you.
No, you don't. You've always been strong.
This of course being incredibly true, and because of her optimism, she lets Luke go.
But why must you confront him?
Because there is good in him. I felt it.
While she is hopeful, she's still fearful for Luke's fate. So when Han arrives, she defaults to wanting to deal with it alone. But when given a second chance, she shows growth and makes an important change and accepts the comfort of another person. as she's now more willing to express vulnerability and receive compassion from Han's gesture. The Battle of Endor is a result of Leia's ability to bring people together, from Han to Luke to Lando, and even the Ewoks. Every person has a part to play in this final battle, and for the first time, Leia fights alongside them as an active soldier, ready to do her part. And as the battle ensues, the tide begins to tip in the favor of the Empire as they struggle to re-enter the shield generator as both R2 and Leia are shot. It's here that things seem at their worst, but Leia has learned from Han and is ready with a trick up her sleeve.
I love you.
I know.
Showcasing that Leia is now more than capable of protecting those that she cares about. It's a great display of how far the character has come, as her actions have greater control of the situation. As the Death Star blows up and the rebels have won, Leia feels a sense of relief, that after all that she's gone through and lost, the people that she's fought with are alright, beginning with Luke, as she can sense that he's still alive.
I'm sure Luke wasn't on that thing when it blew.
He wasn't. I can feel it.
Then with Han, she knows she can settle down and have a happy life with him. In the closing shots of the film, the people of the galaxy are shown celebrating, the result of Leia's hard work as she's fought for others so they wouldn't have to suffer as she has, and everyone can rest a little easier. The team ends the trilogy in proper fashion, celebrating together with the family they've chosen, the princess, the scoundrel, and the farm boy, with Leia being the glue that unites them all. Leia reminds us of the importance of great leadership, as alone you can be strong, but with your friends, you're unstoppable. Her story is one of perseverance, as even when life knocks her down, she gets back up, stronger than before, always inspiring others to do the same along the way. She spreads hope to others while giving them purpose, a hero whose true enemy are those that rule by fear. Leia embodies the concept of the ideal leader, one that's fierce, encouraging, and compassionate, a princess worth fighting for. It's because of this and so much more that Leia Organa has forever earned a special place in the hearts of audiences as the resilient leader and the greatest Star Wars character of all time. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I had a ton of fun making this video, so if you enjoyed it too, then I highly suggest liking the video. And if you want to see more like it, then definitely hit subscribe. Also, I want to give a shout out to my patrons. Your support means everything to me. If you enjoy the content and want to help support the channel, then check out the Patreon link in my description. Any contribution would help out immensely. Also, let me know in the comments which Star Wars character is the greatest leader and why. And who knows, they might be in the next one. Until next time, remember, try not to be a stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.